Hey Verdesian team, it's Mark again, and this video is going to dive into what I believe to be the most special, the most unique, and the best part of the sales process where you can differentiate yourself from other vendors, other competitors. It really is the space where you set up the game to be able to win, especially down the road when I get to have that opportunity to ask for the business. As it pertains to what I consider to be the great game of selling, the great game of sales, the better job we do up front of understanding the customer's needs, their buying needs, what's important to them, what's going on for them, and what is really the pain, the fear, and the opportunity that they have in their business, right? We know just through basic research, psychology, that human beings, no matter what their job, no matter what they do, no matter who they are, we make change for three reasons and only three reasons. Number one is pain, number two is fear, and number three is opportunity. Now in this spectrum, right, from opportunity back to pain, opportunity is the weakest motivator. It would seem that the opportunity to be more profitable, to make more money, to grow my business, etc., would be the biggest motivator. But unfortunately, it's really not. It is a motivator, but it is not the most effective motivator. Fear is the next, like the fear of loss, right? This is often why we have deadlines. It's why we have discount deadlines and things like that, because it's driving the fear. Like, I might miss out on this opportunity for greater profitability as long as I take advantage of the deal by the deadline. And then the next one is pain. So when it actually hurts, when it's actually gotten to the point where what missing out or not taking action or having not taken action or whatever the case may be, the point where it hurts, that's the point where people are most likely to make change. To use a non-business, a non-sales example, it's the point where you had the opportunity to stay healthy early on in life, and then at some point the doctor said, hey, you probably should start taking care of your body. I'm starting to see some signs of some high blood pressure and some things that you need to do better. And then the pain comes when the actual heart attack hits. Sorry to be morbid, but that's the case. When that hits, then it's like, okay, if I live through that now, I need to do something to take care of this thing. That's just how human beings work, and it's not necessarily the most the greatest example as far as like how could we be better, but that's the reality. So it's like when the pain actually hits. So how can we help customers avoid getting to the pain? It's through great discovery. It's if we can do a great job of discovering what are the actual needs in the business, we can do a better job of setting up the game to be able to influence their work, their needs, their perception of you, and their buying decisions down the road. So I'm going to unveil just a couple of questions for you in this video that are going to help, that we have found that work to position you as a better business leader in their minds. Somebody who can influence the decision making because it's going to put you at the center of the conversation, and somebody who they're going to look to as the consultant who helps them think through the things that they're not thinking through. Even if you don't have all the business expertise, the way that we ask these questions is going to position you as more of a business expert. Now, here's what we find. Most people out here, especially in the agriculture industry, are trying to defend their science, and they're just living on only their science. We're trying to defend our features and our benefits, and we get into persuasive mode. The goal of all of this is to not only help uncover the opportunity, the fear, and the pain, etc. It's also to help you stay away from having to get persuasive when it comes to closing. If I get to the closing table and now I've got to persuade them as to like why my science is better than competitor science, we've already lost. It's always going to be a stressful situation. It's never going to be as good as if we're in an actual partnership relationship with a customer. Now, what do I mean by partnership? What a partnership is when we actually, like, we depend on each other. When you're successful, it helps me be successful. When I'm successful, it helps you be successful, and so on and so forth. And in sales, we say there's 4 different levels of value that we can provide to a customer. Level 1 is what we call transactional. You've got a product, I've got money, I give you my money, I get the product. There's no love in it. There's no relationship. It's just like when I buy gas. I don't really have a preference on which gas station I go to. I see the one that may be a penny cheaper per gallon, and I'm going to swing in. I'm going to get my gas. I'm going to be on my way. Then there's the expected, right? The expected things that you produce. as a vendor, you are expected to show up on time, to deliver on time, to have product available, to provide service, right? To provide business expertise, to provide, knowledge. And these are the things that everybody does. It's table stakes. Nobody's different when it comes to providing the expected level of value. Now there's the next one. This is what everybody thinks is like the top level of value. It's the added value, right? Value add. And it's good because these are the things that you do that your competition does not. These are the things that you can provide today that competition does not. These are your VIP programs. These are sometimes these are trips. Sometimes these are added levels of service that other people haven't thought of yet. But and they're amazing and they're good and they're great. But the problem with anything that is a value add today will eventually, if it's a good idea, will eventually be copied by competition. And so it's only a differentiator for a small amount of time. And then they're just going to say to their other vendors, well, are you going to do this for me too? So we have to find a way to create a deeper relationship. And that's how we try to get to this partnership level. And these questions are designed to help you design a partnership from the very early stages. Now, you can also use these with existing customers. We're just going to go back and continue, or people that you've been talking with for a while and maybe don't have business with yet. But we're going to go back in and try to create a deeper level of relationship where they depend on you, you depend on them, and it is a partnership. We're working together to create a higher level of a partnership in more value in the relationship because of it. So question number one is really just like this. Mr. Customer, I'm now here talking to a fair number of people that do what you do for a living. Pick their title: VP of Agronomy, CEO, sales manager, agronomy salesperson, whatever the job is, right? Mr. Customer, I've been out here talking to a fair number of people that do what you do. And it seems like everybody's got 2 or 3 priorities as it pertains to expanding or growing or impacting their business for the coming year. Just curious, what are those 2 to 3 things for you? Mr. Customer, I've been out here talking to a fair number of other people who do what you do, who are in your role. And everybody's got 2 or 3 priorities that they want to work on for the coming year. Just curious, what are those 2 or 3 priorities for your business? Now, if you want to, you could take this and be a little bit more specific. Let's take nutrient use efficiency, if that's a thing I'm guessing some of you guys are talking about. And so, Mr. Customer, I've been out here talking to a lot of people about that do what you do, about the nutrient use efficiency as a part of their business to help be more profitable. Everybody's got a couple, 3 thoughts, couple, 3 priorities as it pertains to that. It seems like that are coming up. So just kind of curious, what are those top 2 or 3 things that you're considering in your business? Very simple. Okay, very simple question. Now, here's some of the things that I love about this question. This is my lead question. It can create a lot of great conversations. You can use this in a one-on-one setting. You can use it in a group setting if you've got a couple, 3 people, or you're sitting down and having lunch. And this is one of the ways. Number one, I've been out here talking to a fair number of people. Okay, this puts you at the center of the conversations. You are now the hub. You are now the Google, the coffee shop, if you will, of the conversation about your product, about your service, about whatever it is you have going on. So that's an important piece. So you're out here having the conversations with people. The next step, right, is that there's 2 to 3 things. Now, if you just ask them, what are some things that you're thinking about as it pertains? What are a couple of things that you're thinking about? Now, we all have a different definition of a couple. We all have a different definition of, some. And so I have to be specific. The human brain needs specificity, and better answers come with better questions. So I need to be very, very specific. So I'm asking for 2 to 3 things. And it's also a negotiation, right? So if I'm asking for 2 to 3 things, I will get 1 or 2. And then I can ask what else and tell me more, and we can dive into those at a deeper level. Okay. What are those 2 to 3 things for you? Okay. I'm putting the question. This is a way that I'm actually, in a way, it's a trial close. What are the 2 or 3 things that are for you, right? So I'm putting this piece into the relationship between me and the potential customer that basically says, okay, so I'm asking you a question. Now it's time to give me some information, right? And the way that I ask it, right, is very, very important. What are those 2 to 3 things for you? I'm assuming that they're going to give me 2 to 3 things. That's it. I'm assuming that it's going to happen. If I say, hey, would it be okay if you told me 2 to 3 things? How does that sound different? Right? It doesn't really work. So this is what we call the 2 to 3 things question, and it is a game changer in your business, in your selling, if you will deploy this question in the conversations you have coming up with customers. Let's move on to the next one. Now, obviously, we know that there's competition out here in the field. It's likely if this customer is worth doing business with, they're probably doing business with somebody else, and that's okay. Obviously, our job is to try and win that away, help them do that, be more profitable, be better in business, help their customers to be more profitable, and so on and so forth. And so when a customer, when a prospect is happy with their current vendor, we want to ask them something like this. Mr. Customer, I can appreciate that you're happy with your current supplier. I know at the end of the day, as I'm out here building relationships, I want to be doing business with the people who are loyal. They're the best kind of people to be doing business with. So just out of curiosity, when you think about your current vendor, what are the things they do for you that you really value? And you can be even more specific. What are the top 2 to 3 things that they do for you that you really value? Mr. Customer, as I'm out here having conversations with people, I can appreciate the fact that you are loyal to your current supplier. You're exactly the kind of customer I want for that very fact, okay? I always want to work with people who are the most loyal. So as you think about it, as you think about the conversation that you're having, as you think about the value that your current supplier is providing, what are the top 2 to 3 things that you really love about that? It's very simple. So here's what I'm doing. I'm being specific. Again, I'm honoring the fact that they have a vendor, they're doing business, and I am honoring the fact that they're loyal to this. I'm just honoring all of the things that they have going on with that customer, with that vendor already. And then I'm just saying, so what are the top 2 to 3 things that you love? Because these are now the things that I'm going to start doing. In my follow-up process, we're going to start doing this. And this is what it is. So when, in the very first question, when they give me, what are the top 2 to 3 priorities, right? Now they're showing me like, this is where the potential pain is. This is where the potential fear is. This is where the potential opportunities are in their business. Now we're going a little bit level. We're going to level deeper, right? Now I'm going to understand, ooh, okay, these are the things that their vendor's doing. Guess what? Success leaves clues. So now I'm going to start to implement these into my business. They're helping us build the game that we're going to play to eventually win this business away. And you guys know that it's not just a slam dunk. I don't just roll in and get a sale when the very first time that I'm sitting down with a customer. It's a long-term commitment. It's a little bit of a long sales cycle. Sometimes it's 2 months, sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's 9 months. I had one retail account in the ag retail space that literally took me 3 years, but it just kept doing the things that they were telling me to do. And finally, it turned into a fairly significant deal. So these 2 questions right here are going to help you set up the game. I'm going to start to understand what's the pain, what's the fear, what's the opportunity in their business, and then what are the things that they like people to do as it pertains to their vendors? What are the things that their current vendors are doing so that we can earn more of their business? They're going to tell us the secrets, and we're going to deploy. This is part of the discovery conversation. More coming to you in coming weeks and months as it pertains to the national sales meeting. These are the 2 questions that we're going to use for today. Enjoy. I hope things are going well out there in Park City, Utah.